Hey, what's up, fellow gamers? It's time to get down with the clown. I'm here today to talk to you about weapon proficiencies. Alright, so the way that I think this is going to be best tackled is I'm going to talk about each proficiency in relation to the weapon class. Alright, so let's get started. Oh, and as you know, typically you're going to be watching generic Moab videos of mine in the background for your viewing entertainment. Alright, so now back to business. Alright, first is assault rifles. The first proficiency option is kick. What this does, this will reduce the recoil when you're firing your weapon. Generally, this is effective if you're an individual who finds yourself spraying the weapon more often than not. If you fire your weapon like me and you feather the trigger or you just tap it in burst, kick is not really an efficient choice because you will have very little difficulties with the kick. The second option is impact. This allows your weapons to penetrate through surfaces more effectively and through surfaces it may otherwise not be able to. This, although it is attractive, is not very effective in my opinion for this reason. The opportunities in which you will be able to effectively hit a target through surfaces is minimal in each game, and for that reason you will not be able to consistently benefit from the impact proficiency in a way that would justify using it all the time. Next is the attachments proficiency. This will allow you to equip 2 attachments. Generally, this is what I use the most because each weapon class has many viable attachments that you can put on a weapon, and I feel it is very good to benefit from 2 rather than 1, especially when I burst my weapon, reducing my need for kick. Next is focus. This reduces your flinch when you're hit. So when you're shot by a gun and you're zoomed in, if you get hit, you will feel your gun jerk up suddenly. So this will reduce that, allowing you to stay on your target more easily. Why do I not use this? I feel this is not very important because in my game style, I find myself getting hit quite rarely. And when I do, I consistently drop shot, reducing their ability to hit me even more. And when I do get hit, at times I find it benefits me without focus because what happens is if I'm shooting at center torso and I get hit, with that jerk from the flinch, at times it puts my aimer right on the head and allows me to get the instant headshot. Call it luck, call it whatever. It's a way to benefit from game mechanics, and I found using focus ruined that, so I prefer not to use focus. Next is breath. This allows you to hold your breath when zooming in. On assault rifles, I do not recommend this because the opportunities that you would need to do this are next to nothing. Additionally, it just adds clutter to what you're thinking you have to do. And as you can see, the maps are all generally small enough that with a red dot, there is no need to steady your aim any further because the sway while zoomed in is rather minimal. Next is stability. This reduces your weapon sway while you're aiming. As I've just said, with red dot, ACOG, whatever you choose, the sway while you're aiming is rather minimal as long as you don't even have to continually adjust using your right analog. It's pretty steady as is, as long as your target's not moving a lot, in which case you're going to be tracking them anyways. And when you are moving your aimer, it naturally balances out that inherent weapon sway, so I wouldn't worry about that too much. Alright, next is submachine guns. The first is kick. Submachine guns kick, it's pretty good, much better than assault rifles, and my reasoning for this is submachine guns, you're usually close to medium range combat. In those situations, you are going to be spraying much more than you would assault rifle, which would be medium to long range typically. So kick, good option. Next is range. As we all know, submachine guns in this game have quite the difficulties in achieving those long shots. Range, you would think, is very good to balance this out. However, there is a contrast. The issue is when you go with range, the submachine guns also have quite more kick than they did in previous games or than they would with an assault rifle, because an assault rifle, like I said, you can burst it to eliminate kick. Submachine gun, if you burst that with its reduced damage, at times it's very difficult to get those kills. So with range, I would advise to be cautious because you're not going to typically want to be in those long range fights with a submachine gun. If you are doing that, I would advise looking into more of an assault rifle playstyle. Next is attachments. Again, same with assault rifles. I recommend this to almost everyone because there is a lot of good attachments that you could put on a submachine gun that you will consistently benefit from in every fight. Next is focus. Again, reduce flinch. With a submachine gun, this is very good because you're going to be getting shot a lot more as you are getting much closer to the enemy territory to get in those fights. So that again is a viable option based on your playstyle. Melee faster. Melee. This allows you to melee faster. This is not really appropriate because In my opinion, the knife in this game is completely unreliable. It's very inconsistent, and for that reason, I would not waste a perk to try to benefit something that is so unreliable. Next is stability. Reduced weapon sway while aiming down the sights. Again, like I said, submachine guns, close range, the weapon sway, you're going to be right up in their face. The sway should not affect you that much. If you are fighting medium to long range, it's still not going to hurt you that much because submachine guns do not have that much inherent sway as they already are. So you shouldn't notice a big difference with that. Next is light machine guns. Kick on light machine guns is very important because they already come with a big amount of kick as they are a very heavy weapon. More importantly, with their high rate of fire, that adds to the kick. So kick is a very viable option if you do choose to use LMGs. Again, impact, not very good, but with LMGs, it is much more viable because you have a larger clip and you are able to spray through the buildings and have much more opportunity to not only get the hit marker, but have the remaining bullets to seal the deal and get the kill. Next is attachments. Again, same deal as always. I prefer it because I benefit from two things at once. Focus, reduce flinch. Again, not very good because usually with an LMG, you're going to be putting out so many bullets. If they hit you, they're already being torn apart. So odds are it's not going to make or break you in the fight. Speed, this is also a viable option because LMGs, as we know, are very slow. So if you take this, you'll help balance that out. But I do not feel that it is better than some of the other options. Stability, again, reduce weapon sway. There isn't that much, and when it comes down to it in the firefight, when you're spraying or doing whatever, with the kick and the muzzle flash, stability is not going to really increase your ability to trace your target. You need to learn how to A, control your fire, and B, learn how to see your target and be able to trace them effectively. Alright, next is snipers. So kick on snipers is generally not needed because most snipers are one shot, one kill. Or if you see me play, usually I hit my target and I zoom back out. So I'm able to reassess the situation. And when you zoom back out and you zoom back in, kick will not affect you. So the only time you should use kick is when you're using a gun that will take multiple shots. So a silent sniper or one of the weaker ones such as a Dragunov or ASS. Then it may benefit you. Next is impact. As I said before, impact is not needed, especially because most surfaces in this game you are able to shoot through as is without this proficiency. And not to mention, like I already said, snipers are one shot, one kill. So if you see him and you shoot him, odds are he should be dead. Therefore, there would be no need to shoot through a wall. Next is attachments. This really depends on your playstyle or the sniper you're using. Again, attachments I find is more useful on such snipers as the Dragunov or the ASS, in which case you would be using something like extended mags and silencer. Stuff like that. Okay, next is focus. This reduces your flinch when hit. Typically, unless you are a full aggressive quickscoper and you're always up in their face, you should not be getting shot that much, providing you hit your target. So you're going to be a traditional sniper in the background, getting your one shot, one kill. You should not be getting shot that much. Next is speed. Like I said, snipers should not be moving too much. Generally, they hold an area, finish their kills, move to a new point, get some kills. You should not have to maneuver around the map that fast to really justify using speed, unless you're using one of the much slower weapons such as the Barrett 50 cal. Next is stability. This reduces your weapon sway when aiming down your sights. This one is very important because when you zoom in, you want to increase your ability to control your aim, get that accuracy, and fire the shot. With stability, at times, well, most times, you don't even need to hold your breath because your aim is that much steadier. Along with if you're doing a quick drag scope or anything, you moving the aimer will steady it enough that you're able to balance your shot and get those kills much easier. Alright, so next is shotguns. Kick. Not important because many of them are pumps, and even the fully automatics or semi-automatics, the spray is large enough that the kick will not affect you as long as you are continually adjusting your aim as needed. Focus, which again is the reduced flinch when hit. With the shotgun, not needed. It's a 1 or 2 shot kill. If they hit you once or twice, they're usually going to be shot and killed anyways, or you're going to lose the fight. It's not going to make or break you. Attachments, same as always. You can get 2 things, can be really good depending which 2 you choose. Melee, not important. Why would you want a knife when you're up in their face with a very dangerous shotgun? Range, this one is interesting. Although I find its range is rather inconsistent. If it does work for you, it is very good because it'll allow you to increase your range with that shotgun up to the medium range more effectively, and overall increase your options and ability to take down those enemies that otherwise you would not be able to. Damage. Damage is not really an issue with shotguns, as they are, like I said, 1 to 2 shot kills all of the time. So damage, I found, did not make much of a difference. The big issue is the range, because that's how your damage is determined. Shield, pretty straightforward. Melee, very important, because you were able to get off your 2 hits very fast. You get the first hit, generally your second will go off fast enough that with the lunge you'll be able to catch just about anybody. Speed, sadly, although it is the last unlock, not as good as melee from experience. And my reasoning is, even with speed, you hit the guy, he's still able to get away, and your hits aren't fast enough that you're able to take him down before he's able to shoot beside your shield, over your shield, get the side knife, or do any of the many options that will kill you. Okay, so in conclusion, I just want you to remember that this is my opinion, and that different weapons benefit from the same proficiency in a different way. So it's really up to you to try all these things on different weapons, find your own feel, and see how it benefits you. Alright, happy gaming. Clowns out.